Welcome back to Go Winnipeg. I'm about to go on the B-17 right behind me. But first, I'm going to have a little chat with Ken. Ken, tell me how this vehicle became to be touring through Manitoba.
It was made on May 18th of 1945, so it never saw service. And it went through a bunch of life. It was a freighter for a while, and it did high altitude mapping of the Middle East, actually. It actually bombed fire ants with little meal, with cornmeal that was laced with poison down in Alabama. I don't know if you're familiar with fire ants up here, but they're mean little rascals. And anyway, they bombed them for a while. It was bought by some investors. They realized how expensive it was to operate, and they gave it to Experimental Aircraft Association in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, back in the 70s. They spent about 10 years fixing it up in its current condition, and it's been on tour since 94, I believe.
So, let's go back in time.
Sure.
Who would normally be flying this plane?
Young, poor kids right out of training and right out of college and scared to death. The average age of a B-17 pilot in the war was 19, well, not pilot, but crew member, 10 crew members. The average age was 19 years, 7 months.
Wow.
So they were all young kids, first time away from home, scared to death, you can imagine. 30, 40 below zero up there.
All right, so we just see it on the outside, and it is a massive machine, but what is it going to look like on the inside?
It's going to be very Spartan. There's nothing there. We do have seats in there for you to sit in, but originally they did not. The crew would just sit on the floor and wait till it was time to stand up and man their guns or whatever their position was. It's very Spartan. No insulation, no pressurization, no heat, no nothing.
So why do you think this is such a great thing for people to be able to see?
There's only 11 of them left flying in the world. They built 12,731. And of the 11, only about 3 or 4 fly fairly regularly like this one does. And I'm a firm believer that if you don't learn from history, you get to probably repeat it at some point. This was the greatest generation, and we're losing them very fast right now. And I think it's important to keep this alive, that their memory alive, and what they sacrificed for the United States, Canada, and the free world, for that matter.
So now, I get to go up in a little while. How do you think I'm going to do?
Oh, I think you're going to do great.
He's very optimistic, folks. Well, thanks so much for this, Ken. I appreciate it. Coming up next, we have Tracy Koga talking about a new play hitting the city.